Kaufman is Alive YouTube channel. I look at comic books new and old. Today I'm looking at a new comic book, Wolverine Revenge number 3. This is the Red Band explicit edition by Marvel Comics. It was a $5.99 comic book. The regular edition's $4.99, but they charge an extra dollar for this Red Band edition. Jonathan Hickman is the writer. Greg Capullo is the artist. Tim Townsend is the inker. And Corey Petit's on letters, and FCL Placencia is the colorist here. There was some controversy right after this book was coming out online, as Greg Capullo on Twitter was talking about how deadlines just aren't for everyone, and how they were getting a new colorist for this series going forward. I'm assuming after this issue. I'm not sure if issue 4 had already gone to press yet, but regardless, finishing this series, it looks like they'll be getting a new colorist. There was a little bit of controversy. I don't know all the details, but I can just tell you what Greg Capullo said there. And, it's just unfortunate to see that kind of dirty laundry get aired out in public like that. It's kind of a rare thing that happens. I'm sure there are a lot of backstage politics going on in comic books, just as in any industry, that we don't really hear about. So it was kind of interesting to hear about all that. This series has been an interesting one. As I said, Jonathan Hickman's the writer, and I kind of would have expected, or I guess I should say I did expect more kind of out of this book from Hickman as far as maybe some of the themes go. It doesn't seem to be that deep of a book. It pretty much is, as the title explains, Wolverine seeking revenge. And we don't get a lot of, there's no like thought bubbles from Logan. We don't get a lot of his thoughts. We just get, some of the things that he's saying here, some dialogue. Like you can see in this page here, there's hardly any words on these 2 pages at all. Just the humph and all this for a little fire. So there's a few things that are lacking in this book, and I'd say that's kind of one of them, is just like the plot. It just seems a bit lacking. Also, there was the previous issue, Wolverine was fighting Sabretooth, and although we did see a pretty good battle, a multi-page fight between those guys, and near the end of the fight, near the end of the comic, I should say, Wolverine was able to depower Sabretooth, but we never actually saw the end of that fight. And we're just kind of thrown into the continuation of this story, not really knowing what had happened to Sabretooth. So we've got Wolverine now getting on this boat to try and go to Russia as he's looking for Deadpool. And he's already picked off Mastermind, who was the mastermind of this new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, and apparently Sabretooth, as if you just read the previously on blurb here, he says he depowered and defeated Sabretooth, but others are still out there. So we're just kind of told that he defeated Sabretooth here. So I do really like the colors in this book, all things being considered, with the controversy surrounding the colorist. I think he does a good job on this book. And I do like Greg Capullo's pencils a lot. He's got some really fine lines, really controlled pencils. It seems a lot more controlled than some of his Spawn stuff, which just seemed like really wild and out of control on the page. This seems very measured, and it's good stuff. It's really nice pencil work here, and there's some really good fight scenes, and I like that they're just kind of having Wolverine go up against some of his biggest villains. There really doesn't seem to be too much more going on here than that. There is this like very minor subplot of Wolverine trying to find this power source, which he seems to have found here in Russia, which is what that giant reactor was. But he's able to cut Omega Red's tendrils here and wrap them around Omega Red's throat and choke him out. and kill him. So, and then in kind of a cool bit, he hangs him from the tree as kind of a warning sign to anybody else from his own tendril. We see the feet dangling there. I was kind of hoping to see maybe a big splash page of Omega Red like dangling from a tree, like what we saw on that famous cover from Spawn, that I'm pretty sure is a Capullo cover. But Marvel wasn't going to go that far here, it looks like. So we got Logan standing out here, outside of this reactor here. I almost wonder if this is kind of a subtle nod to the Wolverine Origins movie, the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie, where Deadpool and Wolverine fight at the top of the reactor as Logan climbs to the top of the reactor here. Again, hardly any dialogue or anything. We're just kind of being shown what's going on through the artwork here. But at the top of this reactor, we see Deadpool sitting up here. Sad looking Deadpool. But he has a heart-to-heart with Logan here. Deadpool's actually feeling remorse about killing the millions of people after the giant EMP went off, as we were told in the first issue, and millions of people died, and the Brotherhood's trying to take over the Earth here. So Deadpool's just letting Wolverine know that he's going to end it all. He's just going to jump off the edge of this reactor into the abyss. But right as he's about to, Logan holds onto his belt, pulls him back. A lot of these Deadpool faces remind me of the way Capullo used to draw Spawn as well, with the ripped up mask and the meatball face with all the scars all over it. Wolverine's looking like it too at this point because he's at the top of this giant nuclear reactor. And then Deadpool kind of gets the idea that maybe him and Logan can team up and go take down Colossus, who's the last guy remaining. And Wolverine says, "Do you really think someone who's done all the things we've done can be forgiven?" Deadpool's like, "Yeah, you know what? I guess I do." Of course, in the funny bit, Wolverine says, "I don't." And he just pushes Wade right off the side here. And he just gets absolutely burned up there in the nuclear reactor. Totally wild looking drawing. So again, I'm still kind of waiting for like the big twist to this story, to this series, because it seems very straightforward, which is kind of throwing me off. And the fact that it doesn't seem to be in continuity. So some nice drawings here, though. Wolverine, he's happy he's found Colossus. He wants to end it. Of course, they're former X-Men, so they have a long history together, joining the X-Men together in Giant Size X-Men #1. I do like the way Capullo is drawing Logan's size here compared to Colossus. He does it on the cover as well. Wolverine looks like a runt compared to Colossus. So that's really well done. And they even kind of mention, Wolverine says, "Have you grown?" And Colossus says, "No, I think we've all gotten smaller." So we find out there's someone else in the house. So Wolverine wants to end it out here, and he says that he'll leave a marking at the gravesite so they know where to find Colossus when they're done. This is where we kind of get some better dialogue here, some actual dialogue, and it's some fun lines here. Wolverine says he wants to bury him 6 feet under, and Colossus says, "I think we can do better than that," and he just throws him all the way across this field here into a tree. Wolverine's able to get the best of Colossus, though. But Colossus rips Logan's arm off here, which is pretty sick. But Wolverine retaliates with the claws right through the head there. And then he just, in a kind of a badass move, of course, just picks up the arm and just attaches it right back on there. Although I didn't know his healing power was that powerful. Maybe he got some super soldier serum from Nick Fury or something. But he's gutted Colossus here and stabbed him in the head, killed him. Doesn't seem to have any remorse at all about this, which seems kind of out of character for Wolverine in this story, which is another weird thing about this. But I suppose at this point, pretty much everyone else on Earth seems to be dead. You don't really get a sense of like anything else that's going on Earth at all in this whole series, though. Except like at the very, very beginning of this book, we get some like refugees who seem to be crying in distress, trying to get on this boat, but these militia guys won't let them. But of course, Wolverine talks his way onto the boat. But that's like really the only sense of anything going on in the world that we've seen in this series, it feels like. It's just Wolverine combating some of his greatest foes. So, which that is, you know, certainly something that I do enjoy about this book. Although going up against Colossus, this is just almost sad, just seeing these two X-Men fight to the death like this. We do get, of course, the X grave site there. So nothing too original, it feels like, and it's kind of a weird tone to the book as well, although the artwork's really good. Definitely enjoy the artwork. Again, I'm still kind of waiting for the twist. What's going to be happening here? There's still 2 more issues to go, and I feel like this almost could have been the last issue, honestly. But so there's got to be something else that's going to happen. Kind of interested to see what's going to go on in the next 2 issues. So I'll be sticking around for that. Go check out my other reviews I've got of this series, issues 1 and 2. And I've got over 100 reviews of other comic books on my channel. I do post every day, so if you like videos like this, please subscribe. That's about all I got. I'll see you guys later.